You know, this is a matter that's unbelievable, and our chief political correspondent, David Brody, is joining us now. David, I heard Newt Gingrich saying yesterday that he thought anytime you have a comprehensive bill that won't pass, they've got to take it up bite at a time. Well, what do you think's holding up? What's the main sticking point, do you think, that why they can't pass something?
Well, this has been the Republicans' heel for a long time, Pat, and it's all going to play out Thursday on the House floor. You've got the Freedom Caucus, those conservatives who basically don't want to see any sort of amnesty at all, especially when it comes to the DACA kids. They don't want to see amnesty, and that's what this bill, that's the holdup. I mean, in essence, this bill, this conservative bill that we're hearing about, in essence, would allow for these DACA kids to stay, the dreamers to stay, give them a pathway to citizenship. And here's the other part of it, $25 billion over 5 years for the Trump wall that we've heard so much about. So they're all for that. They're not for the dreamer part of it. That's the hang up, and that's why it's probably not going to pass unless Mark Meadows, who's the head of the Freedom Caucus, can get his band of brothers, if you will, together and say yes. But at this point, that doesn't look doable.
Well, you know, it's sort of political suicide when you look at states like California, New Mexico, and Utah and others that have a large Hispanic population. It looks like we're anti-immigrant and anti-Hispanic, that the Republicans are just, you know, committing suicide. Why can't they get together, don't you think?
Well, you're right, Pat, and it's been a problem. And guess what? Here are Democrats ready to pounce in the midterm elections, and they do it every year. It's part of the playbook. But quite frankly, a lot of times we hear from conservatives that, oh, the Democrats are using the tired old playbook of, you know, Republicans and the race card and everything. But look, when you're not going for allowing dreamers to stay in this country, which some conservative members of Congress don't want to see, you open yourself up to those criticisms. And, of course, you've got major Senate races in Arizona and Nevada and out there, the areas you talked about. Republicans have to keep control of those seats. They own them right now, or they have them right now. They don't own anything, all right? We the people own everything. But the point is that those two states, Arizona and Nevada, crucial to the Republicans' chances of keeping control of the Senate. This immigration situation is not good, especially in those two states.
Well, you know, Trump sent a signal. He was for the dreamers to help them, but he said, I need law from Congress in order to let them come in. And then it sort of boomerang, and it's like they're blaming him for it. You know, tell us about those dreamers. Well, it looks like that would be a no-brainer to let them have citizenship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And as a matter of fact, that is the way the party has been moving. I mean, look, just go back 5 years ago, or even just a couple of years ago, and you wouldn't have seen this, first of all, this bill even come to the floor, let alone this debate kind of moving in that direction. So, yes, I mean, you've got some hardliners. You've got some hardliners that just will not, they don't want to have any sort of what they call amnesty for these dreamers. Why? Let's be honest. They go back to their congressional district. They run as a hardline immigration guy. And then they've got to explain this to voters, and they're protecting their own job in Congress. And that's what this is about. Part of it, though, Pat, I have to say, this is on the president as well. You know, he has to come out specifically for what bill he wants. And he's talked about how there's going to be two bills up in the House today. He's said he's like the moderate bill. He's like the conservative bill. Basically, it's the art of the deal with Trump. He'll take whatever he can get, but he hasn't been very specific. And those House Freedom Caucus members want to make sure that Trump is backing their bill, but Trump really hasn't given any indication that he would back any bill. So he'd back whatever he needs to back, but they're concerned about the confidence they have in this president not to kind of throw him under the bus afterwards.
It looks like Chuck Schumer isn't going to help anything. He's not going to vote for anything. Is that the posture of the Democrats?
Pretty much. And, you know, Chuck Schumer, of course, said the president can change this with an executive order. And, of course, here we are. The president has an executive order now done and signed. Having said that, that doesn't mean it solves really anything, Pat, as you know. I mean, Congress has to do something. And let's be honest, when President Trump says this is the Democrats' fault, I think his base and the people that have voted for him understand exactly what he's talking about, because in the macro, the laws that the Democrats want, according to Trump, according to many in the conservative party, are open borders. That's what they believe the Democrats have wanted all along. And that, in essence, is the difference between what the Obama administration did when it came to immigration and the Trump administration is doing. You know, we hear zero tolerance. Well, zero tolerance means enforcing the law on the books. With the Obama administration, it was a little bit more as 10 to 20% tolerance policy. In other words, they were okay after 20 days or so. We know this rule's on the books. After 20 days or so, the family would be together, the parent and the children, and then at that point, they would go off into America somewhere, hoping that they would come back at some point for a court date. We never saw it, and that's what was going on under the Obama administration quite a bit. Trump says, no, we're not going to do that, and that's where we are today.
Politically speaking, if there is a policy of open borders, of course it will destroy our economy. But the Democrats, I think, feel that they're going to gain an enormous number of voters if they get in a whole lot of immigrants that don't quite understand what's going on, that they think they can manipulate them to vote for the Democrats instead of Republicans. Is that the game?
Yeah, that's pretty much the game. They understand that the voting rolls of the Democratic Party will increase, that they will secure presidential election after presidential election to come. And that's the name of the game. And the reason we know this, Pat, is because, look, under the Obama administration, there were some separation of families. It didn't happen like it's happening now, but there were some separation of families. And we didn't hear many Democrat voices back then, the Chuck Schumers of the world, raising Cain about this, but they're doing it under the Trump administration. So it's not so much that, it's politics, it's open borders. That's what they want. And look, the Democrats won't say we want open borders, but clearly actions speak louder than words.